Hello students, today we shall discuss on the topic Technology of Sustainable Agriculture, Low External Input Agriculture and High External Input Agriculture. Introduction. Conventional agriculture covering food production has been the mainstay of the peasantry which constitutes the larger majority of the population. Until the early 1960s, paddy cultivation, which was the major preoccupation of the peasant farmer, remained low yielding with low external inputs at subsistence level. The agricultural practices based on tradition remain sustainable with minimum or marginal interference with nature. In the 60s decade, market-oriented paddy production and other field crops were encouraged with high-yielding hybrid seed varieties, utilizing external inputs including chemical fertilizer as well as pesticides. It enabled high yields to be obtained, which in turn was expected to deliver the farmers from poverty to high income levels. The continuous use of chemicals to obtain high yields had its adverse impact on both the natural environment as well as the economy of the farmer in the medium term. The shift from low external input agriculture to high external input agriculture was proved to be neither sustainable nor high income yielding in the longer term. It is in this context that attention should be focused on the need for integration of low external input agriculture and high external input agriculture in a sustainable way for generating higher yields and without the disturbance of the environment. The integration of these practices included the technical, social and economic options open to farmers who seek to improve productivity and income in an ecologically friendly way. These practices teach us the optimal use of local resources and natural processes and, if necessary, the safe and efficient use of external inputs such as chemical fertilizer and artificial pesticides. Therefore, integration of these practices replaces or minimizes the use of chemical fertilizers to some extent. The integration of these practices is concentrated heavily on the following factors. Number 1, maintaining a living soil. Number 2, creating of biodiversity. Number 3, recycling of resources. Number 4, natural pest management. Number 1, maintaining a living soil. The climate, animals, plants and human being influences the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of the soil. Adequate amount of water, air and nutrients in the soil is essential to maintain crop production at a sustainable level. Favorable soil structure is essential to retain water, nutrients and the growth of root systems of the plants. The soil temperature should exist for maintenance of living soil. It is important that soil should be free from poisonous substances. Number A, soil organisms. All animals and plants living in the soil are considered as soil organisms. Functions of microorganisms. Decomposing soil organic matter into humus. The microorganisms depend on the organic matter and provide cost-free labor to farmers converting organic matter into humus. Mineralization of humus into nutrients. They are freely available nutrients to plants. Helping nitrogen fixation. Converting non-soluble phosphate into soluble forms. Helping plants to absorb nutrients. Maintaining soil sanitation. Protecting plants from harmful microorganisms, keeping the population of microorganisms at balance. For example, control of the spread of fungus by bacteria. Can be observed that microorganisms are absent or present at minimum level when soil is continuously cultivated without proper management. Such soils are unsuitable for cultivation due to non-functioning of microbial activities or functioning at minimum level. B. Humus. Soil organic matter is decomposed and ultimately converted into humus by soil microorganisms. Humus performs a wide variety of tasks. The smaller soil particles are aggregated by humus to form clusters of soil particles, improving the soil structure. These clusters of soil provides adequate space to retain air and water in the soil. This situation facilitates plants to survive even in a prolonged drought conditions. In addition, humus improves the chemical properties of the soil. The soil nutrients are absorbed by humus and acts as a store for the plants for their consumption as and when necessary. Humus acts as a pool of plant nutrients, minimizing nutrient losses through infiltration. The humus acts as a binding agent of micronutrients. Therefore, a soil with adequate quantity of humus will not show any nutrient deficiency. In a sustainable agricultural system, it is necessary to assure availability of adequate quantity of humus in the soil. In order to maintain productivity in a soil at optimum level, the amount of nutrients removing from the soil should not exceed the inflow of nutrients into the soil. It is also important to minimize nutrient losses from the soil. Number C. Application of green manure. In conventional agriculture, green manuring was one of the major activities carried out to enrich the soil. Particularly in paddy cultivation, green manure was used to improve physical, chemical, and biological properties of the soil. Besides providing nutrients, green manure helps to conserve moisture. Number D. Animal waste. From the ancient times, animal wastes have been used to enrich soils. Partly or completely decomposed animal waste are used to conserve soil moisture, to get nutrients, and to stimulate microbial activities. Number E. Cultivation of nitrogen-fixing plants. The legume crops grown in farms fix nitrogen in the soil. Green gram, cowpea, soya, groundnut, and beans are suitable legume crops for nitrogen fixation. Number F. Compost fertilizer. The fertilizer produced from the decomposition of residues of plants and animals is called compost fertilizer. Composting is done by microorganisms in the soil. Efficiency of the system depends on the maintenance of moisture, air, and temperature at optimum level. Microorganisms obtain oxygen and moisture from the atmosphere and food from organic matter and release carbon dioxide and energy. The increased temperature affects on organic matter to undergo a series of changes to form humus. Number G. Conserving soil resources. In order to ensure sustainability of living soil, attention should be paid for methodological protection of soil particles, air, moisture, organic matter, humus, microorganisms, and energy. Biological and physical methods could be used to keep a living soil with optimum fertility. The methods of protecting soil fertility are explained under different heads. Number 8. Mulching. Mulching is the use of plant or non-living materials to cover the soil surface with the objective of protecting the soil from the adverse impact of rainfall and sunlight, controlling weeds or moisture loss, and fertilizing the soil. Mulching is not suitable for the soils where moisture content is too high. Generally, 3.4 tons of mulch for 1 hectare of land is suitable. Number I. Growing annual crops as windbreaks. This connotes planting of tall trees in contours and shrubs in between and providing for windbreaks. The tall plants and shrubs provide protection from wind to short plants and thereby prevent soil erosion. This system is favorable for integrated pest management and for keeping microclimate at optimum level. It is possible to use crop residues of windbreak trees as organic matter, mulch, and fodder for livestock. If a crop like pigeon pea is cultivated as a windbreak, it fixes nitrogen in the soil. Number 2, creating of biodiversity. At the time of growing different parts of a tree, such as roots, leaves, flowers, fruits, etc., are formed for fulfilling varied functions. Animals also directly or indirectly influence on activities performed by trees. For example, bees help pollination of flowers. Each and every part of trees carry out diverse activities and maintain interrelationships. The principle of diversity abides by plant for performing activities efficiently. The diversity in an ecosystem depends not only on its plant and animals of different species, but also on the mutual relationships among them. While each member in the system carry out more than one activity for the benefit of the system, the same activity is performed by several members in the system. Any ecosystem with higher diversity maintains a web of interactions with different organisms. If one or several members of the system fail to perform activities in a system, others continuously fill the gap and prevent breakdown of the process. The long-term sustainability and diversity in a farm can be achieved by integration of crops and livestock in a farm. Number 3, cycling and recycling process in a farm. The natural forest ecosystem doesn't use external resources other than sunlight, air, and water. In such systems, the wastage of resources is minimized and instead, the resources are being used again and again. Leaves, fruits, flowers, trunks, and other vegetative and reproductive parts of plants together with animal wastes and dead bodies are decomposed to form humus. Humus provide nutrients to plants. If there are no external influences, this process will continue forever. In a paddy field, the paddy straw can be recycled to give nutrients. Promotion of recycling process will help to maintain the sustainability of the farming system. Number 4, natural pest management. A series of actions such as reduction, prevention, extermination and controlling of pest attack can be used. The seeds and planting materials should be treated to destroy pathogens before planting them in the field. Sometimes hot water treatment will be sufficient for this purpose. Use of wood ash and sun drying is also possible. It is advisable to use farm implements hygienically as there are possibilities of transmitting pests and diseases. Infested fruits, plants, leaves, rattan crops and host plants of pests and diseases should be kept away from the farm. Cultivation of resistance varieties. The crops resistant to pests and diseases should be selected for cultivation as far as possible. The following are the pest control methods. Number A, biological methods. The pest population is controlled by using natural enemies in biological methods. The small-scale farmers can control pests by cultivating a mixture of crops in the farm where the pest population is balanced by natural enemies avoiding economic damage to crops. Number B, mechanical method. In conventional agricultural practices, mechanical methods are extensively used to control the pest population. Hand-picking, trapping, and removing the infested parts of the crops are common mechanical methods. C. Natural pesticides. According to the mode of action, natural pesticides can be classified as follows. Attractive. The pests are attracted by odor, color and taste of some parts of plants. Repulsive. Repulsive means keeping away the pests from reaching plants and stored products. Some plants contain substances which do not allow pests to reach and eat them. Some plants reduce the appetite of pests as soon as they start eating the plant. For example, neem leaves. Example of natural pesticides: garlic, big onion, pepper, tobacco, neem. Conclusion. The world food production tremendously increased as a result of high external input agricultural practices introduced by the Green Revolution. But as a result of the need for excessive capital, unsustainability of the systems and negative impact on environment, the growers had to face many problems. Therefore, development of an agricultural system using lesser external inputs, less expensive and environment-friendly has become a need of many countries. Agricultural practices with lesser inputs have been developed by integrating high external input agricultural and low external input agricultural with new technological knowledge. Thank you.